Hello and a very warm welcome to this special edition of Startup Street coming to you from the Global FinTech Fest 2025. I'm Ritu Singh. Now, one of the key highlights of the FinTech Fest this time around has been Prime Minister Narendra Modi sharing a stage with UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the two leaders talking about the synergies between London's thriving FinTech ecosystem and India's very own digital public infrastructure. Now, in keeping with that theme of collaboration, Graphcore, which is an AI compute company that is part of the SoftBank Group, has now announced plans to invest £1 billion into India to set up an AI engineering campus in India's own Silicon Valley in Bengaluru. And to talk about the significance of this investment and the company's plans for India, I am now joined by Graphcore CEO Nigel Toon. Let me start by asking you about your plans for India itself. You've announced a major £1 billion investment into the region. Tell us how critical, India will be to the overall scheme of things for Graphcore.
Well, lots have changed at Graphcore since we were acquired by SoftBank about a year ago. We've had major investment coming into the company as a result from the SoftBank Group. We're on path to have £1 billion invested in the business, and soon we'll be at £1 billion a year. And as part of that, we're scaling up our operations. We're scaling up in the UK, but we also have taken the decision to really lean into the incredible talent that exists in India, particularly around semiconductor design, and to build a development center in Bengaluru. And so that is what we are announcing. We're starting with 100 positions from day one, growing quickly to 500 people in the team. And so, over a few years, the next decade, that's at least £1 billion investment into the India economy. And I think as part of the CETA trade agreements that have been announced between our countries, it's just an incredible opportunity for us to collaborate and to really lean in and work together.
Well, it's great to hear that, Nigel. But briefly for our viewers, what is your vision for this AI campus in Bangalore? And how significant a role will Bangalore, this center itself, play when it comes to Graphcore's work overall?
So we are going to be building some of the world's most advanced AI processors, and the team in Bengaluru will be absolutely in the center of that, working in physical design, in logical design, in verification around what will be the world's most advanced AI processors. So really working at the absolute cutting edge, working in the very latest semiconductor technologies. We're already working at 2 nanometer and 3 nanometer, and we'll continue to push down to smaller geometry semiconductor technology. So the engineers will absolutely be working in the leading edge of semiconductor design and process design.
Well, speaking of those engineers, Nigel, you'll hire 500 people to begin with, but over time, what is your plan in terms of, what kind of employment generation opportunity this could provide, and how quickly you're going to scale up this center?
So like we said, we have 100 jobs open today. So we are looking to hire 100 people immediately, and then we will scale that team up to 500 people over the next, we hope, 2 years. And then I think we need to see how we expand beyond that point. But, this is a very significant investment on our part. I think we're very keen to hire the very best engineers. And I think based on the products and the way that we hope that this will expand, there's really the opportunity to grow to a very large site here. Obviously, within the SoftBank family, we also have Arm that has a very large facility. And I think it gives us a sense of the kind of scale that we can then achieve in Graphcore as well, perhaps trying to emulate some of the success that they've had in that region as well.
Well, Nigel, Graphcore expanding into India and setting up this center in Bengaluru, How does, to your mind, does this tie up with India's own ambition of setting up its own semiconductor industry right here? I mean, how does this tie in with that?
Well, I think the key thing is the skills, isn't it, and the talent. So, creating that platform on which we can build the talent and really work at the very leading edge of technology. Hopefully, we can be a place in which people come and learn the very best techniques, and perhaps they then go off and use those in the future in other companies, or they grow within the Graphcore business. So I think this is really a long-term investment in talent at the leading edge. Processor design is some of the most complex that you do in semiconductor. It needs the very latest semiconductor technology, the most advanced design techniques. And I think, the talent that we build as a result of that is really going to benefit the ecosystem here.
I guess, Nigel, what I wanted to understand is how Graphcore is going to be working with India's national initiatives when it comes to semiconductor. And, what is the sort of policy or infrastructure requirement that a company like you would have to succeed in India?
Well, I think, first of all, we're doing this as a commercial venture. We're not relying on incentives or grants. This is Graphcore and SoftBank, investing. I believe that SoftBank has invested about $12 billion into the Indian economy through various investments and initiatives that they've had. So this is a continuation of that process, and we're not relying on any particular grants or support to do this. But I think one of the things within the CETA agreement, obviously, is some sections around IP, and I think it's very helpful, in terms of the collaboration between UK and India and the ways in which we can work together in this area. And I think we're really keen to kind of become a citizen within India and feel part of the initiatives that are being built here in the country.
Well, Nigel, finally, to wrap up, a broader question on this AI compute race we're seeing around the world, and giants like NVIDIA and so on and so forth dominating this race, so to speak. What is the edge that Graphcore will have, and what are your larger ambitions in this area over a period of time?
Well, it feels like AI is very developed already, but we're still just at the very, very beginning. We're going to see a lot of advances still in the AI area. Power consumption is absolutely critical, so the efficiency of the compute, and I think that's something where we've always had an edge, and we'll continue to bring that edge. Innovation around the software ecosystem as well. Really being a provider of a platform that will support the next generation of AI technology. That's really the ambition that we have here.
Well, Graphcore is not the only